Good morning, YouTubers. Today I'm just going to talk to you about a testimony, share a testimony with you. I fully believe that sharing testimonies releases the atmosphere for God to move. And I hope that you guys will be encouraged by this testimony. This happened a few years ago. It was when I first started walking in evangelism, and when I was really actually just starting to step out in my faith and recognize how God speaks to me. And I had a lot of people helping me, encouraging me, challenging me, taking me out, and really showing me how to evangelize to people. And this happened while I was at work one day. I was working at a restaurant, and I went out on break. This happened about 4 years ago. Yeah. And it was one of the first times that I was actually stepping out on my own. But I was on break at this restaurant that I was working at, and there's a homeless guy outside on the street corner holding up a sign. And I went out there and I gave him $10. And, I just asked to pray for him. And as I was praying for him, the Lord gave me a word of knowledge about his back. And I asked him, how do you have any pain in your back? And he looked at me. He's an older guy, probably in his 60s. And he says, "Yeah, I've been sleeping in a car for a very long time, and my back is really hurting." So I prayed for him, put my hand on his back, and just declared God's goodness over him, and prayed for God to come and just heal his back, and commanded his back to be healed. And I took my hand away and asked him, "How does it feel?" And he says, "It's really warm right now." And I asked him, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's the pain at? And he said it was at about a 4 now. And I said, well, let's keep praying. So I put my hand on there and on him, and I started praying some more. And I took my hand off, and he says, "It's gone. It's really good now." And I was like, this is one of the first times that I was stepping out on my own, and I was just really excited to see God move and touch this man. And I was so excited. I went back into the restaurant, and I had been proclaiming Jesus in that restaurant for quite some time, and everybody just kind of thought I was crazy, like, "Oh, this Jesus that you're so excited about," and I rushed back into the restaurant, and I was so excited to just share what God did. And I ran inside and I went to the counter, and I'm just telling all the workers there, like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, I was outside, look at that homeless guy that's out there. I prayed for him, God healed his back." And they're all like, "What? And there's a couple customers standing there too, hearing this. And all the employees and the customers standing there look outside to look at this homeless guy. And he's out there dancing. He's dancing with his sign. He's just kind of moving it back and forth and just dancing. And oh my gosh, it was amazing. And one of the customers that was standing there, hearing this, and he's looking out there, he sees this guy, and then all of a sudden he just gets this dumbfounded look on his face, like, what just happened? And all of a sudden he starts twisting his back, and he starts bending over and doing all these maneuvers, and God healed his back too. So that's just the power of testimony, when we're willing to share testimonies of what God has done and what He's doing. People hear that and they take it for themselves, and it creates an atmosphere for God to do it again. It was just amazing to see that, and a lot of my coworkers ended up believing because of things like that. Of just, this God must be real. This God must be real. And I get real excited about it, to just watch God move. It's always very exciting. And that was probably one of the best encounters I've ever seen as far as like healings and stuff. Obviously, the best thing that could ever happen is somebody to give their life to Jesus, and but it was a very big experience for growth for me, of just knowing that proclaiming the testimony, and another person who I didn't even pray for or lay hands on or anything heard it, heard what God had done, saw what God had done, and he took it for himself, and God touched his life as well. So yeah, I hope you guys will be encouraged, and stay tuned for more of my videos. I'll be sharing more testimonies with that, and we'll be getting some more testimonies of firsthand during treasure hunts for you guys as well. So I hope that you guys will be encouraged in your faith, and I hope you guys watched some of my other videos and you're practicing hearing God's voice for yourself, and I hope that you will begin to share God's goodness and step out in faith and share what God has done in your own lives, because people want to know. People want to know what God is doing and how he feels about them and what he's doing in the world today. They don't want to just know what he's done. They want to know what he's doing. So, bless you guys.